Dear students, have a nice day. You are always wonder about the structure of cell and its components. Scientists are constantly trying to find the tools and techniques through which we can explore this world. Today we are going to learn about one of such tools. In this particular lecture, we will cover very important aspect of bioinstrumentation in terms of electron microscopy. Let us first understand the general meaning of microscope. The term microscope comprises of two Greek words, micros meaning small, that is measurement in micrometer, and scopio means to look at. Ever since the dawn of science, there has been an interest in being able to look at smaller and smaller details of the universal objects. Especially biologists have wanted to examine the structure of cells, bacteria, viruses and colloidal particles. Microscope is an instrument used for viewing the objects such as microorganisms which are too small to be visible with the naked eye. In terms of instrumentation, there are two main types of microscopes, light microscope and electron microscope. In this particular lecture, we will focus only on electron microscope. Historical background of electron microscope. Dear students, now let us start with an overview of the historical background of electron microscope. Electron microscopes were developed due to the limitations of light microscopes, which are limited by the physics of light to 500x or 1000x magnification. The wavelength of visible light, that is 400 to 800 nanometer, limits the resolving power of the light microscope to 0.2 micrometer under optimal conditions. In the early 1930s, there was a scientific desire to study the finer details of the interior structures of organic cells like nucleus, mitochondria, etc. This required 10,000x magnification, which was just not possible using light microscopes. In 1923, it was already shown that a beam of electrons could be focused by a magnetic or an electric field, which had increased the possibility of developing electron microscope. On the basis of this principle, Max Knoll and Ernst Ruska of Germany developed the first type of electron microscope in 1931. Ruska's main contribution to the design of the electron microscope was the development of magnetic electron lenses. Now, let us get a generalized idea about this modern instrument. Electron microscopes are scientific instruments with an imaging technology that uses a beam of highly energetic electrons to examine objects on a very fine scale. Electrons possess the properties of a wave with a wavelength that is much smaller than visible light. Due to such a short wavelength of electrons, the magnification of electron microscope is not limited by the wavelength factor, and in electron microscope, two objects separated by 0.1 nanometer can be resolved. As a result, we can distinguish features of any object down to a fraction of nanometer. Low numerical aperture of the electromagnetic lens provides a large depth of field to the electron micrographs of specimen. Types of electron microscope. Let us explore different types of electron microscopes in terms of their principles, construction and working. Transmission electron microscope. The first type of electron microscope invented was transmission electron microscope. Let us understand the main principle of transmission electron microscope or TEM. In transmission electron microscope, a beam of electron hits a very thin sample. Usually, the thickness of the sample should not be more than 100 nanometer. The electrons are transmitted through the sample. After that, the transmitted electron hit a fluorescent screen to form an image of the specimen. The transmission electron microscope will produce a two-dimensional image of the object with a higher resolution and far greater magnification than the light microscope. TEM has a magnification range of 1500 to 200,000 and a resolution of better than 0.5 nanometer. Construction of TEM. A typical transmission electron microscope comprises of various basic parts. The first and main part of TEM is source of electrons in the form of electron gun. It is usually a V-shaped filament made up of tungsten. Wreath with Venlet cap and operated at high voltage of 50 to 120 kilovolt. The second major portion of TEM comprises of condenser lenses with aperture. The stream of electron from the electron gun is focused to a small thin coherent beam by the use of condenser lenses. The first lens determines the spot size that strikes the sample, and the second lens actually changes the size of the spot on the sample. A condenser aperture is a thin disc or strip of metal with a small circular through hole. It is used to restrict the electron beams and filter out unwanted scattered electrons before image formation. The next portion of TEM comprises of sample compartment. The beam from the condenser aperture strikes the sample and the electron sample interaction takes place in this chamber only. Here, the interaction occurs in three different ways. First, unscattered electrons due to transmitted beam. Second, elastically scattered electrons due to diffracted beam. And third, inelastically scattered electrons. The next part of TEM is objective lens with aperture. The main function of the objective lens is to focus the transmitted electron from this sample into an image. Objective aperture enhances the contrast by blocking out high angle diffracted electrons. The next part of TEM comprises of intermediate lenses. Another major component of TEM includes projector lens with aperture. The projector lenses are used to expand the beam onto the screen. The last and important portion in the construction of TEM imaging system is the fluorescent screen made up of zinc sulfide. It is utilized for direct observation by the operator. The TEM can be aided with camera for taking electron photomicrographs for scientific analysis. Working of TEM. Let us study in detail how TEM works. The transmission electron microscope has condenser lenses to concentrate the incident beam upon the specimen. This passes through the specimen to be focused by electromagnetic lenses to form an enlarged image on a fluorescent screen. The final image is seen on the fluorescent screen through an observation window, and a very fine focus can be obtained with a low power binocular. The high resolution of the electron microscope enables further details to be seen by enlargement of electron photomicrographs. Colors have no real place in the electron microscopy, but the contrast is increased by staining with heavy metal salts such as lead citrate, lead hydroxide or uranyl acetate. The very thin sections are picked up on a wire grid or meshes which are covered by very thin film of plastic. For TEM, a very stable power supply as well as water cooling system is required. Recent developments in transmission electron microscopy include the high voltage microscopes and electron probe microanalyzer. Limitations. Let us also go through certain drawbacks of the TEM technique. Many materials require extensive sample preparation to produce a sample thin enough to be electron transparent. This makes TEM analysis a very time-consuming process with a low throughput of samples. The structure of the sample may also be changed during the preparation process. Also, the field of view is relatively small, raising the possibility that the region analyzed may not be characteristic of the whole sample. There is potential that the sample may be damaged by the electron beam, particularly in the case of biological materials. TEM is more complex, expensive and difficult to maintain. For the electrons to reach their acceleration speed without deflection by air molecules, a high vacuum is needed, and as the specimen is in this vacuum, living objects cannot be examined with TEM. Scanning electron microscope. Now, let us move on to the study of second type of electron microscope as scanning electron microscope. Details of the principles and techniques of scanning electron microscopy have been described by Hayat in the year 1973. Let us look at the principle of SEM in brief. In SEM, an incident electron beam is focused by the condenser lens system on the specimen to form a bright illuminating spot. The focus spot moves to and fro across the specimen in a rectangular grid pattern and generates secondary electrons, which are picked up by an electron collector, amplified and displayed on a cathode ray tube to produce a topographical view of the surface contours of the specimen. Scanning electron microscope provides a high resolution and 200 times greater depth of field than the light microscope. The three-dimensional image of the scanning electron microscope is instantly appreciated because it mimics our own natural visual perception, giving us a subjective experience as well as an image for scientific analysis. Construction of scanning electron microscope. Now, let us briefly list out various parts involved in the construction of SEM. A typical scanning electron microscope comprises of a column with electron gun operating at 10 to 15 kilovolt, magnetic condenser lens system, scan generator, specimen holder, electron collector, photomultiplier and cathode ray tube or television screen. Working of scanning electron microscope. Now, let us understand the mechanism of working of scanning electron microscope in detail. In SEM, there is a column maintained at high vacuum and a source of electrons in the form of electron gun. The electron beam is brought to a focus by the condenser lens system, forming a bright illuminating spot on the specimen. In SEM, the focus spot is not static but moves to and fro across the specimen in a rectangular grid pattern or raster controlled by the action of a set of scanning coils activated by an electron scan generator. As the focus spot passes across the specimen surface line by line, secondary electrons are generated by the impact of beam with the specimen surface, and the intensity of this signal of secondary emission fluctuates according to the topographical detail of the specimen surface. This reflected signal is picked up by the electron collector close to the specimen and is amplified and displayed on a cathode ray tube. Thus, the electron beam in the microscope probes the details of the specimen surface by screening it line by line, and the secondary emission produced by this probe is simultaneously displayed line by line on a television screen, building up a faithful replica of the surface detail of the specimen. A permanent micrograph can be obtained by photographing the image on the screen via conventional camera. The image produced by scanning electron microscope is thus built up through a system of television electronics. In terms of sample preparation, tissues for scanning electron microscopy require fixation as well as dehydration and are finally coated with a thin layer of metal such as gold, carbon or palladium in a vacuum evaporator for the observation. Scanning transmission electron microscope. Now, it is likely that the advanced research electron microscope of the future will be a scanning transmission electron microscope in the terms of third type of electron microscope. A scanning transmission electron microscope or STEM combines the capabilities of both SEM and a TEM. The electron beam is transmitted across the sample to create an image like that of TEM, while at the same time, like SEM, it also scans a small region on the sample in the raster pattern. Interactions between the beam electrons and sample atoms generate a serial signal stream, which is correlated with beam position to build a virtual image. Its primary advantage over conventional SEM imaging is the improvement in spatial resolution, which results from eliminating the electron scattering that occurs in the bulk specimen. Working and principle. In terms of working and principle, it has both transmission and scanning electron microscope functions. Construction wise, STEM is similar to TEM as we have discussed previously. Now, let us have an overlook of similarities and differences between SEM and TEM. The scanning and transmission electron microscopes have several features in common. Both microscopes use electron beams to illuminate the specimen. In both instruments, the samples are required to be stained or mixed with a particular element in order to produce images. Images produced from these instruments are highly magnified and have high resolution. However, an SEM and TEM also share some differences. The method used in SEM is based on scattered electrons, while TEM is based on transmitted electrons. The scattered electrons in SEM are classified as backscattered or secondary electrons, while there is no other classification of electrons in TEM. The scattered electrons in SEM produce the image of the sample after the microscope collects and counts the scattered electrons. In TEM, electrons are directly pointed toward the sample. The electrons that pass through the sample are the parts that are illuminated in the image. Not only this, the focus of analysis is also different. SEM focuses on the sample surface and its composition. On the other hand, TEM seeks to see what is inside or beyond the surface. SEM also shows the sample bead by bead, while TEM shows the sample as a whole. SEM also provides a three-dimensional image while TEM delivers a two-dimensional picture. In terms of magnification and resolution, TEM has an advantage compared to SEM. The resolution of TEM is 0.5 angstrom while SEM has 0.4 nanometer. However, SEM images have a better depth of field compared to TEM produced images. Another point of difference is the sample thickness, staining procedure and preparations. The sample in TEM is cut thinner in contrast to SEM sample. In addition, SEM sample is stained by an element that captures the scattered electrons. In SEM, the sample is prepared on specialized aluminum stubs and placed on the bottom of the chamber of the instrument. The image of the sample is projected onto the cathode ray tube or television-like screen. On the other hand, TEM requires the sample to be prepared in TEM grid and placed in the middle of the specialized chamber of the microscope. The image is produced by microscope via fluorescent screen. Now, let us quickly have a look at various applications of electron microscopes in the field of biology. Applications of electron microscope. Within last 50 years, the development of electron microscope has enormously expanded our knowledge of cellular structures. These newer instruments give different kinds of information about specimen. Electron microscopes provide the topography, morphology, elemental composition as well as crystallographic information of the object. Three-dimensional structures of surfaces, the shape and configuration of biological molecules in their native state as well as the distribution and amounts of specific atomic species in a given specimen are now all susceptible to investigate at high resolution due to the development of electron microscopes. Normal and pathological histological structures have been studied with the transmission electron microscope and rapid techniques which allow a specimen to be examined within few hours had led to the greater use of electron microscopy for diagnostic purposes. Scanning electron microscopy has been mainly used for the examination of the smears of cells as well as surface of tissue sections. Nowadays, scanning electron micrograph is an invaluable aid for teaching, research and a regular feature of popular television documentaries. Thus, we can say that electron microscope covers vast area of applications and is a very versatile instrument in the field of biology. Summary. Friends, now it is a time to summarize our today's lecture. Today, we have learnt what electron microscope is in its principle, construction and working, and based on that we have studied basic three types of electron microscopes, that is transmission electron microscope where the electrons are transmitted through the sample as good as those in a movie projector, but dependent on the properties like density and composition of material being examined. Apart from this, we have also discussed scanning electron microscope where an electron beam scans the surface of a sample and the image formed will reflect the characteristic feature of the region of the surface that was exposed to the electron beam. We have also studied the last type of microscope, scanning transmission electron microscope in brief, which combines the capability of both SEM and a TEM. Not only this, we have also seen the similarities and differences between transmission and scanning electron microscopes, and at last we have also described various applications of electron microscopes. Thanks.